You kind of mentioned there the huge step up thing. Like when we started writing for it, like really like when we kicked it into high gears, we got home from that Death to All Suffocation tour, and we kind of look back at bands' sophomore records. You know what I mean? Like P Cells and Ride the Lightning, and the huge step those bands took when they did those records. Like the first albums are classics, and then the second record's like holy shit, like they've their balls dropped or something. You know?
Yeah. Well, Steve, I want to welcome you to the Distorted Dialogue podcast on the Metal Institute of Thrashology. Steve's the frontman and lead shredder for the SoCal San Diego thrash metal band in Nukem. Thanks for coming, Steve.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome, dude. Where you at? Slovenia?
Yeah, we're in Slovenia, Ljubljana tonight. The creator Carcass Exodus Nails tour, a tech for Exodus. So I'm
How
out here
cool!
doing that right now.
How cool of a lineup is that, man?
It's a real good one. It's
Yeah, I'm so
been a lot
pissed.
of
I'm pissed it's not coming to the States though. I'd love to see Carcass and Exodus on the same bill.
yeah. I'm sure that'll eventually happen, but they are doing it with Carcass and creators, so you'll get some of it.
Yeah, well, I bet you're having a blast gallivanting all over Europe.
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. And we're second of four, so it's a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah.
Getting in, getting out every night.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this new badass album, The Grave Remains. How
Hell yeah.
phenomenal is it? And 10 years in the making, dude. It's a huge step up, man. I love this thing. So tell me all about like what went into it and how much love you guys have for it.
You kind of mentioned there the huge step up thing. Like when we started writing for it, like really like when we kicked it into high gears, we got home from that Death to All Suffocation tour, and we kind of look back at bands' sophomore records. You know what I mean? Like P Cells and Ride the Lightning, and the huge step those bands took when they did those records. Like the first albums are classics, and then the second record's like holy shit, like they've their balls dropped or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's
yeah.
like we wanted to achieve that like extra level in production, arrangement, more parts. It's not just like a thrown together song. So we really dissected everything we could to try to make it what it became.
So I listened to I was just cutting some grass. So I listened to The Grave Remains and then I went back and I flipped it and went back and listened to The Unholy Trinity again because before I was doing it the other way. And it's a
Yeah.
huge step up, like you said, in production, I noticed. And your fucking guitar tone got filthy, dude. That thing's
Yeah.
nasty on this album. So it just
Yeah.
made it such an easy listen, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The first record we tracked everything in one studio. And in that time, I've kind of built my own home studio. I've been doing other things, producing other bands. So this time around, we just tracked the drums with Ulrich, who, Wild, who mixed the record. He just mixed the first record, so he didn't have a lot of play with the tones to try to make things better. But we tracked the drums with him, and then everything else was done at my place. So I had a whole lot more time to craft the tones and you know make it exactly what we wanted it to be, which is cool to have that time and not the clock wasn't ticking for a studio and we're getting charged out the ass.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It really paid off.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All the tones are pretty killer on it.
Yeah, and I really like the lyrical content. Like it's nice and violent, and I love
Yeah,
violent is my favorite subgenre of thrash. And
yeah.
I like it that you guys put like thought into the violence. It's not just like we're cutting people's heads off and mutilating people. Like there's actually like thought provoking and like it seems like some geopolitical and some historical themes that are like make you maybe a little bit smarter of a Neanderthal thrasher, you know?
Uh, I was always a big fan of like I call them Mustaineisms, where like where Mustaine would write a lyric and it's not super bland what he means, or not super straight ahead on what he means. So if you're kind of on one side or the other of things, you can kind of take it how you want to take it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the kind of like the direction I like to do. It's not so blatantly obvious what the person's saying, but you can kind of interpret it the way you want to. And what I think about it doesn't matter. It's the way you interpret it is up to you. So
I think as a listener, that's a really cool way to have it, you know? And
yeah,
like, cause you're not alienating anybody either, I guess.
totally. Yeah, it is what you want it to be.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So
Yeah,
what made you, this was like my first question was going to be, what the hell is in your CD player right now? Because you had the Dehumanizer TV Crimes on Unholy Trinity, which is like
yeah,
my guilty pleasure. It's my favorite Black Sabbath album. I had it
yeah,
since I was like a little midget. And then you picked Thin Lizzy's Don't Believe a Word.
yeah,
And like I've been on a Phil Lynott kick, I think, since the ball dropped earlier this year. And it just played right
yeah,
into me. And I was like, man, what's he listen to? These songs are great, you know?
yeah.
What made you choose both of them?
uh, when I pick a cover or when we pick a cover, we'll kind of toss things around. I never thought it was a good idea for like a thrash band to do a thrash song. Like you won't see us cover Hell Awaits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. What can you bring to that song that they didn't already do? And you already have like such an expectation of what that song is. And then even if we do it perfect, it still doesn't sound like that and it's not as good. You know what I mean? No matter what you do, it's not going to be as good. So my opinion on is to go a little farther back and maybe do like influences of your influences and where they got the stuff, which I'm a big fan of all that stuff anyways, the Lizzie and the Sabbath stuff. But it's just less obvious for a thrash band to cover, I think. It's where
Yeah.
like the music we do a really true version of it, like a really true rendition. But the part that really breaks it away from the original is my voice. You know what I mean? Which I kind of stick to it. I try to do it justice, but it's not like a far cry. You know what I mean?
I
From
would
the
say
original.
I would say your tone though, like your guitar tone also like
Yeah,
definitely makes it heavier. Like when I was listening to TV Crimes like an hour ago, I was like, man,
yeah,
I was thinking back to like Iommi, and I was like, that's probably like a Iommi's like thrashiest writings. And I was
yeah,
like,
definitely.
I was like, that's a great selection for you guys to pick up and like not
Yeah,
improve upon it, but just maybe build upon it and give it a
just
different sound.
do your own little spin. Yep. Well,
Yeah,
honoring the original. Yeah,
yeah. So when you guys sit down to write, do you, because I'm sure you're all over the map with, production, guitar teching. I see you doing
yeah,
setups on the side. And
yep.
do you guys write together in a room or do you guys usually send tracks
Um,
back and forth?
not so much sending tracks back and forth. I know a lot of bands will do that these days if they're like spread out upon the world. We all live, Norm and I live, one exit down the freeway from
Oh,
each other.
okay.
So anytime he's like, hey, I'm coming over, I want to work on this. He's like, cool. Or I can go to his house. I have drums at my house. He has drums at his house. We have stuff everywhere. And then Don lives, 25 minutes away. So he's not far. So, usually I'll kind of come up with a stem, two or three riffs that go together just to start. Okay, this is a good group of riffs. And then Norm will come over and we kind of work out those riffs and we kind of get it together and then we'll send it to Don and Don will start building upon it the way he would, you know, do his parts. And then we kind of from there we kind of collaborate on an arrangement and talk about it. And, you know, we've had songs that have been completely written out. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is the way it goes. And then something else changes and then we move things around, make the puzzle pieces fit a different way. And it's like, well, there it is. That was the way it was supposed to be the whole time, but and as the recording goes too, there's little sprinkles of things that get added that should be there the whole time. Like in the Tactics of Terror, there's that melody in like the verse part.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't there. That wasn't there until, you know, 90% of the record was completely tracked. I was like, oh, I got an idea for this, and it wasn't there. And it's what made that part, flourish the way it did. So it's just kind of build upon each other's ideas, and someone will do something that will change the way I think about something, and then vice versa too. It's very collaborative,
So with all the
but
bands, go ahead.
I'll say it all just starts with the group of riffs that I'll bring, and then we expand upon that.
That's awesome. How do you guys like when you're out? This is what I always wonder. Like when you're out on tour and you're with Carcass and Nails and Creator and Megadeth and I can't remember
Yeah,
who else you guys just went out with. Anthrax and
Anthrax.
Megadeth?
Yeah,
Yeah, Anthrax and Megadeth. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. And
yeah.
I was wondering, like, does that influence your playing at all, being around so many like legendary acts?
I think
Or
I absolutely come home inspired from tours. Like I could point out songs in this record. I came home, and within the first week of being home, I wrote that song. You know what I mean? Because I just
yeah,
was listening so much of something. Like coming off that Death to All tour with Suffocation and Nukem,
yeah.
that's when Torture, Murder, Mutilate happened. Like a
Okay.
week within being home of that tour, like we were talking about doing something that's maybe a little more heavy and a little more technical than we've done before. So it kind of like we kind of took what we were listening to for the past month, you know what I mean, and put it into that next song, and it became its own thing on the record, which is pretty different than anything we'd done before.
That's a beast
But
of a song too, man. I
it's
love
a
I
good,
love that one.
yeah.
So as far as your teching, does does Gary's playing and the way he sets up his guitar and everything that you do for him, does that impact your playing at all? Or is like Gary's setup and everything completely different than your playing style? Because I wonder, like, you
Um,
two have to be really close from being together as
yeah,
much as you guys. He's on the road constantly, it seems.
yeah. We spent a lot of time together for sure. Right now our rigs are very similar. We just got them on in-ears, and Nukem's been doing in-ears for a while. And we're using quad cortexes, the same thing. We're actually using the same profile,
Oh, okay.
of amps. But yeah, it's very similar, and I'm not ashamed to say I've kind of copped from him growing up. You know what I mean? Exodus was one of my favorite bands in the thrash genre for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's the way I play and the way he plays isn't a far cry from each other. Just because I grew up on that too. You know,
So did you grow up in like the San Diego Bay Area, like growing up?
San Diego. Yeah, I moved to San Diego when I was 8,
Oh, okay.
so I've been there a while.
I've,
And
I've
they're
only I've only been to Cali once. I went to 29 Palms. It was like God took a shit and that's where it landed, you know?
yep, yep.
But
That's
I'm
pretty
t
much where I that's pretty much where I moved from as a kid. I was in Yucca Valley, which is
okay.
like the next town away from 29 Palms, and it is a shithole. And we moved there when I was 8, so
Yeah.
I don't remember much of that shithole. Like I've gone back and gone, yeah, it's a good thing we moved.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you there. No, this is the first album out on Redefining Darkness.
yep,
How have they been? Because like I do this little podcast where I put out what albums are coming out every Friday, and it seems
yeah,
like Redefining Darkness has a killer album coming out weekly, and it seems like they're such a great record label to work with as far as my end. So
yeah.
I assume they're very supportive of you on your end too.
They backed it from the beginning, and Tommy, the main guy over there. We met last year. Actually, no, we met a prior year before that on an Exodus tour, but we really got talking about it at Sonic Temple this past year, American Festival. And I sent him the record. We're hanging out backstage after the show, and he left the festival, and he was stuck in like 3 hours worth of traffic trying to get out. And he put the record on right when he started the car, and he was texting me the whole way. And you know, he finished it before he got out of the parking lot, and he was like, "Man, if you want to work together on this, I'd love to have you guys." So he was instantly in on it. It was like you have to convince someone, like, "Can you put this out? I think it's really good." He was
Yeah.
locked in quick, which was nice. And it's nice to have someone in their position, to support us so fast. It just felt natural, and they've been awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like he was supporting you before he even signed you, you know? And
Totally, yeah, he wanted it,
and
which
I
is
th
cool.
and I think
Yeah,
that changes the power dynamic of it too. Like you said, you're not begging and pleading to a record
yeah,
label and groveling at their feet, you know? Like it feels like
yeah.
you're a little bit more mature in adulthood-ish.
Yeah, there's a lot of big fish labels that will sign smaller bands, and then you don't really get a lot out of them. They really don't give a shit. They have you know, the new Megadeth coming out too. It's like, so, they're really not going to put too much into you,
Right.
but I'm not saying you know, we're not any kind of big fish, but redefining is kind of like a medium fish. So it's cool because like he put us right in their ads and Decibel, and he's
Yeah.
pushing it, which is nice.
I'd say Redefining Darkness is probably one of the most underrated labels right now. Like I know Castrator's on that label too, and I love them girls. Their
Yeah.
music's brutal.
Hell
And like
yeah.
I see how much they do for them and you guys, and it's nice to watch a label do the right thing, especially for bands.
Yeah.
There's enough of
They're
you
definitely
guys out there struggling, you know?
yeah. They're definitely one of the, you know, the best growing independent labels,
Yeah.
I think.
So so with them backing you now, are you guys gonna do a small tour or maybe like a West Coast leg to support the
Yeah,
Grave Remains?
we're trying to work on some dates right now. Nothing's set in stone, but we're working on it.
I went to an Emperor show last week with Dr. Destruction. He's my neighbor. He helps me do this. And
Nice.
we were talking. We were like, how cool would it be to do like since you Nukem's going out like with a new record.
Yeah,
Exodus has a new record. You guys just played with Nefarious. That would be one badass tour.
that would be.
We could
I'm all,
dream, right?
yeah. I'm always up their ass about that.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
come on, put us on.
Yeah, wouldn't it
But
be so? You're already there, dude.
yeah,
What's it?
that's what I did on the Death to All tour. I was teching for Death to All and opening the show. So it's not. I mean, it's a lot of work in the day, but it's not you know unattainable per se.
Yeah. And I think with Gary, how high maintenance is he to tech for? He seems pretty easygoing as a person.
Super easy going. I mean, especially on a tour like this, we have two tunings. So like a main guitar and a backup guitar, and then the second tuning is used for one song. So it's basically just maintenance on three guitars, and you know we're switching into it once and then going back. It's super easy,
I
But
s-
he's super cool. One of the best dudes. That's why I'm always with him because he's the best. Super cool.
so when you do the setups you do that at your house, I'm assuming, like when you do the guitar teching
Uh,
like for other people?
yeah, like someone will bring a guitar over. I'll go pick one up. Just kind of filling in stuff when I'm home a little bit.
Are you just kind of doing it to help your friends out or like you do it as a
I'll
business or
Yeah, just kind of a little bit on the side as a business. I don't really try to put too much into it just for time reasons, but just a little here and there, like small little side hustle.
yeah, I guess you gotta make money where you can in this economy.
Yeah. I mean, totally like when we go on these long stints where there's like a couple months in between tours, that's when I'll try to hustle on it and get more. You're like, hey, if you bring me your guitars, and then they'll
Yeah.
start flooding in. Like, fuck, I got home from that tour in November and I had like 9 guitars show up. I'm busting them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It has to be a blast though, and probably get to play some cool ass guitars too.
yeah, totally. It's
So
nice, pass the
do
time.
you have any sponsorships?
Yeah, with Solar Guitars, uh, Ola England's company.
I've seen more solar guitars everywhere, and I think that might be my next pickup. I watched this guy in Austria. I think he's in Austria. Howie, Haui, and
Okay.
he's a solar player, and he's always playing some Exodus shit. And dude rips. And I keep watching his tone, and I'm like, man, those things are badass. Like, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool that Ola took like his band to a YouTube project and then to a guitar company.
Yeah.
Um, how great have they been for you to work with?
They've been super cool. I mean, it's almost like Redefining Darkness is, they're not a big company, but it's backed by someone who's a badass. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's like you can go to this guitar company who's owned by some corporation, that doesn't give a shit about
sure.
their people and they just sell really nice guitars. Or you can go to someone like Ola who has, history in metal and he believes in what he's putting out. You know what I mean? That's kind of like Redefining is.
And I think he would get it much, same with Redefining, would get it much more
Yeah.
being a guitarist in the industry versus like somebody at Fender who's just a corporate college grad. No offense, Fender, I don't know you. Like,
Yeah. Totally. No, it's exactly what I mean though.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. So I'm tired, man. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
So with all these badass people, how did you get so many cool people to do feature spots on your album? Like you got get like Gary Lee and Rob, I get, but you picked up Russ from Satan and Laura from Dark Angel,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah. So
man, so
so
cool.
Laura played live with us for quite a while. Once she started getting real busy with Dark Angel, we knew that there was going to be some point where there was going to be conflicting schedules.
Sure.
And we kind of made the decision with her that, you're getting really busy and we're trying to ramp up on stuff. And we don't want it to get to the point to where there is the conflict of time. You know what I mean? So we decided to make the split, mutual split. And then as soon as we did that, like we had stuff coming up, and then Dark Angel did too. So it was like perfect timing to do it because we had those bonded shows we did last year with Exodus, and
The
she
40th
was out.
anniversary.
Yeah, she was out in Europe with Dark Angel at that time, so it was perfect timing to do it. So that was natural for her to be on the record. Still a great friend of ours in San Diego. And then Russ, they came to San Diego and played a show, and we supplied all their backline, and we opened direct support to them, and we started hanging out with them. We were just fast friends. They were all fucking awesome, and we stayed in contact with Russ. And probably like a year later, and I was like, hey, when we do our next record, would you want to do a guest solo? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Then the time came to like have him be on it, and I said, hey, Russ, I have that song ready for you if you're still interested. He's like, yep, I'm in the studio right now tracking the new Satan record. And
So
he's like, just send,
they
yes,
got a new
send it.
record coming. Bring it on.
Oh, it's the one that
It's the
came
one
out
that just
already.
dropped. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. So it was tracked in those same sessions, and I sent it to him on like a Monday. He recorded it on Tuesday, and he sent it back on like Wednesday. It was like the fastest turnaround ever, and he sent it in. It was fucking ripping. I mean, it sounds like him. That's what's cool. It's got that Fender, Strat tone, and it was pretty awesome to have like an old school legend like him on it too.
So when Laura stepped out to go with Dark Angel to Europe, you said, is that when you
Yeah,
guys brought Xavier or Xander in to help out with
yeah,
some of the 40th anniversary shows, or
yeah. A few months after that, like we were kind of looking around in town to see who we could get, and Norm knew Xander, and we talked to him, reached out, and he was super into it. And he's a little more, he's not as thrash oriented as we are. He's more into like John Sykes and George Lynch type of playing, which is cool because he brings that different element live than we've had. You know what I mean? It's like me and
yeah,
Laura were very similar in our playing types, but you know, Xander, he's way more of a ripper. He's so fucking good. So we're talking about getting, the next record going fast so he can be
fuck
involved
yeah,
in it. Because I always wanted that, like, you know, the Mustaine to the Friedman thing. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like Dave's playing was killer, and then Marty would come in and just, oh fuck, well now it's over.
It
And
gives
I've
you
always liked
another.
that dynamic.
It gives you like another weapon in your arsenal. Like you're not just
Totally.
like thrash. And I think
Yeah.
that really can push boundaries and envelopes with your band.
Totally. Yeah. And he came in, he wasn't used to such right hand work in music. And like he can destroy me in solo work. You know what I mean? I don't hold a candle to the kid. But all the right hand stuff, he was like, fuck you, this shit's hard. Like his arm was cramping up, and he caught on to it quick though, and he's crushing it, and he's a great player. So we're stoked to have him on board. And we're gonna try to, follow this record up pretty quick with another one.
I think you're the first band I've interviewed. I think this is interview like 78. And I've interviewed every band, and you're always like, hey, what's your plan after this album? And you so want
Yeah.
them to be like, we're coming to Pittsburgh, we're playing a show,
Yeah.
we're dropping an album that day. So like
Yeah.
it's so nice. Everybody's always like, slow down, dude. So it's so nice for you to be like, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
fucking bang out another one.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like, I'm really happy the way we did it. And I think there's like 36 guitar solos on the record,
There's a
you
lot.
know, which like I think it's five of them are guest solos, and then the other 31 are me, something like that. I forget what it is, but the record was done, and then Xander came along after it was mastered and everything, and I would have loved to have gone back and put him on it, but it was already what it was, and I didn't want to change it. We didn't want to change it, so it's like we want to get to that point with him quick. That way he's we'll write album three, make it, well, not album three. That would be I was thinking Megadeth, but like Rust in Peace. Like we want to do another Rust in Peace where there's just ripping solos all over the place. But it was actually
I
so far
can't.
so good. So what? Yeah, we're gonna beat
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one,
yeah.
number three.
Yeah, I didn't like that album.
Yeah, it
It was
has a
just a
few
bunch
good
of
ones on
filler,
there.
you know?
Yeah, totally. So
So
we're gonna jump to record 4.
do you think though, like if you would have went back and added him to this record, because like you said, you're happy with the way it went, and like you
Yeah,
have to be stoked at the way it turned out. It's fucking
yeah,
phenomenal. And so like if you would have went back and like tried to add him into what was already written and like plotted out, do you think it would have been like I think it would have been a really difficult piece to add like a George Lynch sound into that because it's
yeah,
so different. Except maybe on the Thin Lizzy cover. I mean, I think
yeah,
that would have
totally.
been easy, yeah.
Yeah.
But
You know, the second solo on the Lizzie cover is Lee from Exodus. And he
okay.
he tried to get more John Sykes on it, you know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
was later Thin Lizzy, but it was just bringing that element back into it. And he fucking ripped on that one. But yeah, I don't know. I think we were just so locked in on what it was, and I don't, you wouldn't want to hear it any different at this point.
Right.
It's done, so we'll just get him in quick on the next one.
But
And he's stoked too,
I hate to say it on the flip side, now that I know you have a badass shredder in your band, I'm like, fuck, I want to hear more shit. And I haven't even gotten the fucking
Yeah.
record yet in the mail, And I'm like, I'm already
Yeah.
stoked for number three.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have some plans to do some stuff later in the year of like an extra track, you know what I mean?
sure.
So we're gonna incorporate them on that one. But it's not done right now. So just trying to follow up the record on the tail end with like extra stuff to come out.
Yeah,
So
that has to
there's
keep like your
plans for that.
has to keep the algorithm rolling.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to think process it all. So
Yeah.
so does Xander play the live shows now with you currently?
Yes, he's done everything with us since he's joined the band. And he's fully
Okay.
in with us too. So we're talking future with him, and he's not going anywhere. We're not gonna
That's
let him go anywhere. He's too
that's
fucking
a
good.
he's a hostage now.
Yeah.
Kidnapping.
Yep.
But man, I know I want to hear more music from you guys.
Yeah. We kind of give him a little free reign to do what he wants on the solo sections. But if it's a really memorable part, we
Yeah,
want him to kind of stick with it. But if it's just kind of like a shreddy thing,
yeah.
do what you want on it,
Have
sort of
fun.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
but if it's like a melodic thing, maybe stick with the original melody or dance around it a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if it's something that someone's gonna whistle or hum to, then it needs to be close.
yeah. Does he bring a different writing style? Because his playing style is obviously different. So I would think a different writing style.
We haven't gotten into that too much yet with him, but he has sent a couple ideas over, and it was like, oh shit, like he's trying to think in our mindset, but he's in like comes from a different mindset, so it's a totally different dynamic, but it was still super heavy and catchy too. So we'll get there when we get there with him, but haven't delved too much into that yet.
Yeah, I think
But
like maybe it'll just take him a little bit of time to get the Nukem tone, and then
yeah,
you guys will meet in the middle somewhere and bang out another
definitely,
badass album.
yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that'll be on Redefining Darkness since, what a badass label
Yeah,
that is.
yeah. No plans to jump, so I'm sure that'll be the go-to.
When you guys finish up this tour with Nails and
I fly home on the 26th, I think it is.
okay, so the end of the
Well,
month.
actually, I take that back. Not flying home, flying to New Jersey, and we're starting the Sepultura Exodus Biohazard tour in the States.
I haven't seen the
So
dates on that yet. I'm gonna have to look.
yeah, we're going straight from that tour right into the Sepultura one. So I'm not even going home for another, you know, fucking 2 months or something.
So have you seen the entire world? Like, have you hit every country by now?
It's getting up there. I haven't done Australia, New Zealand yet. Done a bunch of the Asian countries. Obviously, haven't done Russia. It'd be cool to do that one day.
Yeah.
Once things kind of get back to the way they need to be. There's a lot of Middle East places. Actually, in all the Middle East places I haven't done that, which sometimes happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of rare to have a show there, but uh, you know, most of Europe, all the states.
Is
Besides
it
Alaska, I haven't done Alaska.
okay? So you've hit every state but Alaska, even Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah. No,
cool.
I haven't done Hawaii either. Actually, haven't been there.
Okay. So when you tech for Gary, do you have to tech differently for Exodus and Slayer, or Is his tunings and stuff pretty much
Um, with Exodus, they're in D standard, and then Slayer, it's E flat. So like
okay?
the tuning's different, but it's the same guy. It's just different music. You know.
I thought maybe since he was playing like Henneman stuff that it would be like a little bit
Yeah.
different.
No, it's all his normal guitars. Like Hanneman had a Kaler, and Gary sticks with his Floyds. It's just same gear. Well, different gear. Same approach. You know what I mean? Same
Okay.
guitars. Same guy, different songs. So it's pretty
Yeah.
much the same. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty new to this block of wood behind me, so like I struggle and
Oh
like
yeah,
I butcher Exodus songs to the worst every night.
block of wood.
Dude, so I had a roommate who turned me on to Exodus in the Marines like 20 some years
Yeah,
ago, and
yeah,
he had a Gary Holt signature in his front room, and that's why I was like, oh, who's Gary Holt? And that's how I got into Exodus. And then he
right.
talked me into buying all this gear, buying guitars, and then he died, and now I'm stuck and I
Oh
suck.
fuck.
And but yeah, now ever since I started playing guitar, I got like tennis elbow, a bad neck, no hearing. I was like, thanks,
Yeah.
Gary, you've been a great friend to me.
Yeah, he's got all that too.
Yeah. But it's fun, man. Like it's much better hobby than drinking myself ridiculous every night.
It's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Well, hey, I'm running out of time. I just got the pop up, so
Yeah, cool.
yeah. I appreciate you stopping by, man, and I wish you guys like a ton of luck with this record, man. I hope it flies off the shelves for you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for all the support on it too. We appreciate all the videos you've done, and the extra push on your end is awesome. So we
Yeah, for
definitely
sure,
really
man.
appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.